Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video in Wild Rift. So they're back with a Samira supplementary guide, and we've got a really exciting gameplay for you guys, but we're going to be taking a look at a IE Rush Samira. Now what do I mean by IE Rush? I don't mean you rush it as the first item, but I do mean you rush it as a second item, which is, in my opinion, a little bit too quick, because I think second item on Samira normally is going to be Bloodthirster, or it's going to be Shield Bow. But after taking a look at all the top Samiras, I do realize that there is a decent number. Like you can see, the number 2 and number 3 at the moment here are going for IE as a second item instead of going for Bloodthirster or, Shield Bow as a second item. So, I decided to try it out for myself and see if it works and if it's good. Now, personally, I prefer IE as a third item still after testing it out, but I can definitely see how it works, right? So, built pretty stock standard. You start off with the Gluttonous Grease for the AD and the Omnivamp, then you go into Collector for the Armor Pen as well as the crit. Of course, you do get the Death and Taxes passive, which on Samira can be really good because, of course, your ulti can easily proc the passive, so on Samira, Collector is a pretty solid item. And then, as I mentioned, IE as your second item gives you a lot of AD as well as, of course, giving you the extra crit damage, which on your ult, of course, can proc really often. And then Bloodthirster slash Shield Bow, depending on which one you prefer. But Bloodthirster here gives you physical vamp as well as, of course, a lot of additional AD and just a lot of additional stats. Then, of course, more reminder for the Armor Pen as well as the Grievous Wounds. And finally, you can go for a defensive item, or in this case, what I want to just put here, just to put it out there, is that you can go for something like Black Cleaver, for example, because the ulti can proc the Black Cleaver and basically shred the armor of everybody on the enemy team. But of course, you have your usual suspects like your GAs, your Sterex, even your Twin Guard and your Maw, all your standard defensive options. For the runes, Conquer 100% of the time. For the extra AD and on the Vamp, which of course is going to proc the moment you stack up, your S rank for your ulti. So you're always gonna ult with Conquer. And here we have Brutal for the auto attack damage. Now, honestly, Samira doesn't auto attack that much, so you could also go for something like Triumph, for example. But I guess like Brutal is the most consistent option overall. Giant Slayer to counter the tanks. Of course, you can go for Coup de Grace as well, especially if you're against all squishies. And then finally, of course, you have Bloodline just for extra healing, and you also have Sudden Impact for the extra penetration whenever you dash in. And then for the spells, you can go for Flash together with Exhaust. Now, Barrier also an option, but I personally always prefer Exhaust. Now, with all that said, let's hop into the very, very action-packed gameplay. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at the gameplay. Now, as promised, there is a ton of action, funny moments, and nice plays, etc. In this particular game. It's a really kind of fun and exciting game, is this one. So, interestingly enough, in this game, the Gallo that I'm playing with, this is the first time we're encountering each other. This Gallo is a random. But after this game, he added me as a friend, and we decided to duo up for the next couple of games. So here, right at the beginning, Pyke just walks face first into the bush and takes a ton of damage. I have a full stack Conquer at this point, so I'm trading a little bit with the Jhin, who does have Arcane Combat, which of course I've advocated as a really trash rune. Now Pyke hooks me in, which actually really isn't a problem because Jhin flashes forward and gets caught by the E of the Gather. I flash away, Pyke flashes away as well, and now I know I have range, so I'm standing behind minion to make sure that I don't get hooked by Pyke, and then I actually walk back and take a double kill. So now I'm actually gonna take a reset, of course, and then I'm going to just grab some items, and yeah, that was a really beautiful start to the game that I was not quite expecting. But you can see that me and the Gather do have some synergy in this game, and we do end up just doing, and I think we do it for like the next 3 games, and in total we played 4 games, so we won 3 and lost 1 of those games. But so pretty solid partnership, I guess you could say. But yeah, so also really funny how Jhin flashed into the path of the Galio E. Like, I guess it's really unlucky, right? So here comes the Pyke hooks me in again, and we're going to now just trade a little bit. Of course, Samira is really weak in lane. Actually, she's only really strong in all ins, and like when you get just those really good engages from your support or from your team. So under normal circumstances, even though we got like 2 kills, we're not gonna, be very strong in lane, right? So here Galio going in onto the Pyke again. Pyke actually dashes toward me, and I'm actually able to get up a really good amount of damage onto Pyke. I'm dashing in on him, I'm just running him down, and he does go down eventually. Now I'm just going on to Jin. I don't think I'm gonna kill him, but Jin actually makes a mistake here by rooting himself. Like, when he casts his W, he can't move, right? So he actually CCs himself by casting W. And because he did that, I'm able to free hit on him and get the kill. I believe if he just kept running, I don't think I can kill him because I would have to take a tower shot to do so, and I think if I did that, I might just die. So I definitely think Jin did not make the right decision there, but either way, another kill for me. I ain't gonna complain. 4-0, 2 minutes into the game is a dream start, to the game. And now we can head back and hopefully do the same again, right? So really, yeah, Samira games sometimes do go like that where it gets very snowbally, and also like you just go on to enemies and just kill them. And yeah, so here Pyke decides to just actually roam mid because he's tired of getting killed in the top lane. Very sensible. Now here I'm wanting to wait in this bush because I'm thinking that Pyke is gonna walk through here. And yeah, exactly as expected, there he is, walks through here, that tries to dash away, but does get run down. He actually hooks me into the tower. I'm able to actually kill him, but as a result of that hook and Xin Zhao being there, I do end up dying eventually. Now, if number 1, I didn't get hooked, or if number 2, Xin Zhao was not there, I think I take like a tower shot if Xin Zhao wasn't there, and I think I survived. But because Xin Zhao was there, he was present to kill me, and that's just a little bit unfortunate because Xin Zhao now gets a huge shutdown, gets his first kill of the game, and the first kill of the enemy team, where it's 8 kills to 1 right now, and that's the shutdown he got onto me. So a little bit unfortunate, but hey, we've got 5 kills in our pockets already, so we can't really complain too much. Galio gets into a huge fight with both Jin as well as Pyke, and Pyke here ends up going down. I'm flashing forward. Now I make sure to flash forward the moment I lose vision of Pyke, because every second or every half a second, as in basically every bit of time that Pyke is out of your vision, he's gonna heal from his passive, right? So if I'm already gonna commit my flash, I'm gonna do it right at the beginning to ensure he doesn't actually heal up anything from his passive, and make sure I can finish him off with my ulti, which is exactly what I did right there. Of course, Pyke's bounty was reset because he did help to assist Xin Zhao's kill onto me, so he's actually worth the full amount of gold now. So flashing for that kill, I think, is, I wouldn't say the most worth, but it's definitely not a horrible thing to do either. Now here Pyke has roamed to mid again, and Galio is kind of matching the roam. Now we do have a little bit of time because the wave does take a little bit of time to crash, so we are just following, but eventually the kill is picked up on Victor, and I'm just gonna let Fiddlesticks farm the Skull Crab. And yeah, here a kind of fight breaks out in the enemy Krug area. So here is really funny. So Pyke does the same thing and he hooks me, but this time I have the damage to actually kill Jin and then get the reset on my E and dash out. So I think that was really funny how Pyke just hooked me in there and basically ended up killing his Jin just because he hooked me in, and I was able to escape scot-free. And Pyke himself has to even dash away because he's actually in danger of getting shredded down by my ulti. So yeah, pretty funny chain of events there overall. So my team is able to secure the dragon, and the herald is completely untaken by either team, so we can't even go ahead and contest the herald after the fact, right? So of course I myself am going back to the top lane to of course stop Jin from getting any plates or anything like that. However, my team is free to go to the herald, which they are indeed doing. So Galio is with me, so if there's any play to be made, definitely can be done. Pyke is actually in the mid lane, so we have to be of course aware of that. Getting a ward here to ensure nothing funny happens. Galio is going for the roam, so here I can either follow or stay in lane. Now I'm going to stay in lane to once again make sure that Jin doesn't come back here and just farm tower plates, which is of course definitely not what we want. And of course by myself, really hard for me to kill Jin if he doesn't make a mistake, right? And by make a mistake, I mean if he walks too far away from his tower and near enough to me, I can just dash on top of him, full combo him, and he's gonna die, right? But if he stays near his tower, I mean there's no real way I'm gonna kill him. And here I'm backing so far off because I actually saw Xin Zhao, so I'm afraid he's actually hiding in the bush there. And I'm afraid that he just goes on me and just kills me. So that's why I'm actually I walked all the way on the tower there. when it was apparently only the Jin, right? Because I spotted Xin Zhao on the ward, I believe. Or not on the ward, maybe I think the minions it was, that he was actually walking to the lane, right? So I'm still scared that Xin Zhao might be just waiting in the bush to ambush me the moment I step out. So I'm still being very, very cautious about it, because there's no reason to die to Xin Zhao and or Jin if I can avoid it, right? So I'm just being very, very careful, hugging this wall and ensuring that I'm not at risk of dying to a random Xin Zhao gank from the bush. So now that Jin's not around, I really doubt Xin Zhao is here. If he really is, I could just dash through him. And here I'm proccing the mimics to get a plate, and I'm gonna auto down the tower and get probably another plate, and then we can find a reset. Just as Jin actually just reaches the vicinity. We are gonna, or we were gonna grab a reset when obviously Jin is going to come over here, sorry, and stop us. Because he's not just gonna let us reset for free, and he shouldn't. Package hooks us in, which actually helps me get in range to damage him a little bit. Pyke Chang hook again. Hook goes wide this time. Gather really dashes into Pyke's shadow and nearly stuns himself. But here a fight is breaking out in the enemy jungle, which is really strange location for the fight to be breaking out. But we're just in the nearby area just in case we need to help our team. But in the meanwhile, of course, we are going back to the lane, and that is just, classic clearing wave and just making sure that the number one, maintaining our farm, but number two, ensuring that the Jin doesn't just get any free damage onto that tower. And here we actually take quite a chunk from Jin, just because we kind of misused our W there and lost a lot of pressure. But we can remedy the situation by simply taking a reset and also picking up our IE in the process. Now we're 7-1. Which is a great KDA, especially 8 minutes only into the game. And here I spot a huge fight in the mid lane now. I'm thinking the fight is going to last a long while, so I'm actually making my way there. And unfortunately for me, the fight is still ongoing right now, but unfortunately for me, I can't actually reach anybody to actually do anything. So I basically end up coming here just to, I don't know, scare the enemy team off, I guess you could say, because I don't actually end up making any kind of meaningful contribution to the fight whatsoever. And now I'm headed back to top once again to clear waves, right? Actually, honestly, at this point should be where like someone like Orianna, for example, goes to the side lane and I can stay mid so that I can actually rotate more easily, because obviously you want your 7-1 fed Samira to be in the mid lane to easily rotate to fights compared to your 0-2 Orianna, right? But most people don't really understand the concept of lane assignments and lane swapping in Wild Rift, so very often you're just going to end up having to go to your own lane. So here's Xin Zhao, is coming, but I don't care about him. I just want the tower, so I'm just gonna go for the tower. Galio engages onto the Pyke, and here I'm going in with the ulti. Unfortunately, Victor does get the channel cancel onto my ulti, which is really, really annoying. But we do end up trading kills before we die at the very minimum. So, interesting thing about Victor ulti is he only cancels channels when he initially casts it, right? He doesn't actually cancel channels throughout the ulti. It's not so ridiculous to the point where if you're in his ulti, you can't channel anything, right? No, that will be completely whack, right? So thankfully that's not the case. But it is indeed the case where if you're in the channel and, Victor ults, you get cancelled. It's almost like Soraka puts the silent field on you right there and your ult gets cancelled. But instead it's Victor's ult, which does a lot of damage to you as well. So here we're going to head over to the dragon, which is of course up with our jungler, and perhaps we can find a contest. Now here Ambessa is not ready to contest, and neither is our Orianna. However, Xin Zhao is not at the dragon either, so it looks like the dragon is just being ignored by both teams. So since the dragon is not being done, I'm just gonna head back over here, push out this wave, and then I can rotate over. Now I still don't think the enemy team is on the dragon, so I'm just walking blindly down the river. And we're just going to remove this enemy vision. Removing this enemy vision is going to kind of make them think that we are maybe doing the dragon, which actually now we are. But Xin Zhao is on vision in mid, right? So here it's a free dragon for now, right? Because there's no one that can really get the dragon. So here, fight from mid comes over to the dragon pit. We get the kill on Xin Zhao. Pyke actually pulls me to the point where I can actually reach Victor. Victor nearly dies because of it. And now Pyke is running into our jungle. However, with that regen on his passive, he actually heals up a lot of damage. I don't really think it's really that worth chasing him, but we're going to do it anyway because there's not a lot better we have to do. So now we're going to chase down Pyke. My team gets the kill onto him. And now we're just going to get a reset after getting the dragon. We're now at Infernal Soul Point, which is of course the best soul you could get in the game. And yeah, not too much to do. Most of the enemy team is dead. Only Jin is alive, and a couple people respawning right now. So we're gonna head over to bot, where I can see a huge wave accumulating that's gonna eventually crash into the tower. So here I'm just destroying it with my Q. Just one hit with my Q just destroys the wave. Really satisfying. And we are able to pick up the next wave as well. So 2 huge waves into our pockets. And we were going for the Skull Crab, but the enemy team had already taken it. So we're now going to instead rotate over to mid, where the farm is not taken because Orianna is on a reset. And Bessa gets hooked in by Pyke, but it doesn't really matter. And in theory, right, there's a lot of ways that I as a Samira can proc, my passive, right? Because here, you have Samira, not Samira, you have like ultis from Galio, like from Mbessa, like Orianna, all these ultis and Fiddlesticks. Basically, all ultis on my team can proc it for me. We have like Fiddlesticks, Fear, Galio's Knock Up, so many things that can proc. So here it just looks like a fight's happening. I can back for Bloodthirster, but it just looks like a fight's gonna break out, right? So I'm just posturing around. I'm thinking that there's no way a fight doesn't break out here. So there we have it. Mbessa goes in, basically 1v5. Galio goes in. Victor has already been used, so this allows me to go in, destroy everybody, and I'll get a triple. Now here it could have possibly been a penta if I had timed that one correctly to get the quadra and then chase Pyke downwards for the penta. But since we're not gonna get the penta anyway, I'm not gonna be too desperate to really chase Pyke. Instead, ping for Baron, because obviously you can get a basically free Baron. And with the Baron, you can also get the Empire Recall. Of course, just pick up the Bloodthirster and just use the Baron to just push towers, things like that. Pyke's having an intense 1v1. With, I believe that is the Galio. Yeah, with the Galio in the bot lane. Yeah, here we reset and we pick up the Bloodthirster, and here we are thinking of our enchant. We get the QSS as well as a longsword, which is going to of course build into the Maul Reminder. So now the TX is actually pushing the side lane, which is actually fine. I actually think TX pushing side lane is actually probably more optimal than mid, because getting side lane inhibitors are way more valuable than mid lane, right? Because mid lane inhibitor is the least valuable inhibitor. Side lane inhibitors are always going to be better. So here TX is rolling down the side lane. And now we're being a little bit cautious because obviously we don't get hooked into the tower or something like that. And now with the help of the double Baron minions, we're trying to take down this inhibitor. Also doing a really good amount of damage to Urgot. Now here we get the Urgot, we go in with the ulti, get a reset, and we're trying to kill as many people as we can just to remove bodies away from, to make it easier for us to get the inhibitors and maybe even end the game. So now Zinja here is deciding to hard int. He's just running it down mid and he's executing himself to the mid lane tier 2 tower, and he's just out of it basically. Unfortunately though, we do have the Nexus shield up, so a little bit difficult to end the game here. Although of course Victor does have really decent wave clear, but the wave is not exactly thinking that. I think Mbessa should be ulting the base and not the whoever that was, not the Pyke. But TX is slowly autoing down the base, and unfortunately it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to end the game. And I think this is a huge int. Once again, like, why are we throwing the game and not ending the game there? I kind of sacrifice myself to ensure that we can end the game there, but my TX rider is kind of trolling, not just ulting the Nexus, right? And TX has expired, and I guess we're now just gonna go for Dragon Soul. So here I'm respawned. I'm ready to, of course, just take the soul.
Enemy turret destroyed.
And we're gonna try to burst this down as quickly as we can before the enemy team can make it here. We can already see that they're halfway there, and looks like we are indeed gonna be able to secure it before the enemy team makes it here. I do have flash to get over the wall if I need to, but it doesn't look like I do, so I'm just going to walk over the wall instead. And here it does look like a fight is going to happen. Hook goes in, and Orianna ult does hit the Urgot. Urgot gets basically just annihilated, and now we are on the chase. This is the last inhibitor that is left alive on the enemy team, and we're trying to use the minions to kind of just push it in. Pyke hooks me, but I don't really move because I get hooked into a wall. And now, yep, the game just ends because the minions come in from the other lane. But yeah, there we have it. Pretty exciting game if you ask me, at least at the beginning. I'm gonna leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye